Hey y'all. It's your girl, Big Legs, and welcome back to the Life of Legs. How y'all doing? Y'all good? You ate today? I think I need to stop eating so much, but that's neither here nor there. Anywho, how y'all doing? Me, I am doing my best to come out of this, I don't want to call it a funk, but that's typically what people call it. And it's just, well, the technical term for it is anhedonia. And I learned that word from my therapist, like my first session with my therapist, like me just explaining to her like what was going on with me. She was like, well, it sounds like you're experiencing anhedonia. What's that? And like she told me what it was. I looked into it. And her noticing that in me, she also was just like, I'm gonna send you some resources, and I know you're not in the mental capacity to even care about these resources, but I'm still gonna provide them to you. And then she did that, and I wasn't in the mental capacity to care. But when I got to the mental capacity to care, I'm like, okay, well, there were stepping stones. Let's revisit those, right? And you go back, and you're like, okay, well, I could have actually benefited from this, and you just apply those things. But yeah, I realized that I've fallen back into that anhedonia. And anhedonia is like a lack of pleasure, a lack of joy. Really, like you don't find enjoyment in even doing simple things like doing your hair, taking a bath, or going somewhere, going to the grocery store, things like that. And that pattern was being picked up by me and from other people about me. And so I just had to hone in like, okay, well, where is this coming from, right? And it took me back to the conversation that I had with my therapist where she was just saying, well, I told her what I've written in my journal, which was that I had become, I guess, complacent with not wanting anything because I don't want it to be ruined. And that isn't really healthy. So I had to realize, well, all of the things that I've wanted from my life, I don't really see myself going for them. Or like if you ask me where do I see myself in 5 years, I can't tell you that answer because I don't even know if I'll be here in 5 years, right? And I want to get out of that. Like I want to actually have a plan and work towards that, and then 5 years later I can assess myself based on that plan that I put in place for my own life, right? Not by anybody else's standards or what have you. So yeah, I just got to get to a deeper understanding of what it is that I want, if I even want anything. And I guess I feel like I'm also simultaneously trusting in God, but not too much, right? Like I know God will work it out, but I'm just gonna wait for Him to do a miracle, okay? I'm just gonna sit right here. And I don't think it works like that. I don't at all. But that's just how I've become. Like, not saying that I want to continue being like this. It's kind of like an illness, like a disease. Like, things happen, right? Let's say the common cold, right? I'm going to use that as an example, right? You go hang out with some friends and you catch a cold. You don't know which friend you got it from until somebody else says that they're sick too, right? And they probably didn't know it. Or if they knew, then it's like, well, why did you come hang around me knowing you were sick? Things like that. And then once you have it, if you don't do anything about it, your cold turns into pneumonia, right? And the next thing you know, you gotta go to the hospital. And that's just how depression works, anxiety, all sorts of things. Like when you don't address them and make an attempt to heal them, right? Because you don't have to heal a cold with, cold medicine. There's actual remedies that you can do that work, or you can just make an effort to get better at the very minimum, like eat, drink, things like that. Like you can actually make an effort to get rid of a cold, and the right efforts probably leave you better off because if you've developed a healthy habit while you're trying to get healthier, right? That's why it's called a habit. So you're going to just keep going, keep trying to get healthier. And with this anhedonia, I just feel like when I went from sad to being depressed, then to the anhedonia level, I have to do something and quick, because I can't just want better and not actually know what that better means for me, right? Because my better is different from your better, it's different from somebody else's better. So I have to be able to answer that for myself. I have to be able to plan my life out according to what I feel works best for me. Because my problem is that I think that I can do anything. And so why would I do this when I can do that? Why would I do this when I can do that? And I end up not doing either one of them because that wasn't the opportunity being handed to me at the time. So it's just a matter of maybe changing my thought process, taking the negativity and nipping it in the bud when it comes up. Like, okay, well, yes, I can do that, but this is what I'm being offered right now. Do I want to do it? Do I see myself succeeding in it? And then do that, if that makes sense. Instead of just hoping for the inevitable and not knowing what the inevitable is, because I can say all day, like, I want what God wants for me. And God might just want me to be something that I'm not willing to do right now. Well, that's not being offered to me, right? But the way God's plans works are that one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And by the end, you can put the pieces together and like, oh, I see why it happened that way, right? So me wanting what God wants for me is cool and all, but I also have to want something, right? I have to want what's being offered to me. It's like, well, excuse that loud truck passing by. But it's like if I want, like, okay, for example, I talk about being a singer a lot. Like, that's something I always wanted to do, and I used to be so excited about it. I used to write music, da-da-da. And then that dream just fell out of the sky for me. And then now when I try to pick that back up, I'm like, well, why would I do this when I could do that? Like, I'm always seeing something else, seeing myself do something different, but not knowing what that different is, because yes, I want to be someone that can do it all, right? I mean, I want to try different things, have different experiences, but closing myself off from one thing or the other, or saying, well, why would I do this when I could do that, is keeping me stagnant. It's keeping me like immobile when I just got to keep going. Keep the motion with the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to take time. And I don't know what's going to come from, I guess, the opportunities that come to me. Like, I'm not in charge of those. But I also know that I can create opportunities for myself if I just go looking for the right thing. But that requires me to have a direction of what to look for. And I feel directionless. And I find myself praying and praying like, God, give me direction, give me wisdom, give me, something I can work with. But I'm also not willing to do the work. That's just stuff I had in my head today. Yeah. But this podcast is just something like, I feel like it's my diary because I journal, but half of the stuff I say, I'm not writing my journal. And when I'm writing my journal, I'm like, well, why aren't I just, talking about the things going on in my life, and which I am, but it's more like a letter between me and God. And I feel like that was what this is what journaling was supposed to be. Just me getting out the random thoughts in my head. And I can write random thoughts all day, but my hand will get tired. Okay, but one thing I can do all day, every day, from sun up to sundown, is talk. Okay? And I used to be alone and not have anyone to talk to unless I call somebody or somebody called me. So it could be hours and hours in between talking to somebody. But when I started doing this podcast, it was just like a way for me to just get my feelings out and work on communicating, work on being open and vulnerable when I'm talking to people, because I've made it easier on myself to just say what I need to say here. That way I can summarize and make it cute later. So, as much as I wanted to be, the best podcast in the world, the number one podcast in America, it's just me. It's just my diary. And I'm not anybody big. I'm not anybody famous. I'm not, an A-list celebrity. I'm not a basketball player, a model. None of that. I'm just a young lady that doesn't know what to do with her life. Just like a lot of the young ladies I know. Like, we're all just winging it. But, I mean, this is just something I enjoy doing, getting my feelings out and talking. Because I can talk all day. Like, I can talk all day. And I will not run out of things to talk about. And when I'm talking on this podcast, it's just like I have to focus on clearing my mind by the end of the recording. So that way I'm not still working through things, making things more hard, like not more harder, but harder on myself later because I didn't get out everything I need to get out. Like, I just got to get stuff out. I just got to talk. And when you're talking to other people, you're subjective or subjected to their opinions. And like I said last time, our opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, but that don't necessarily mean I want it. Okay? And this is just my place where I can just talk and not be interrupted, not be subjected to other people's opinions. And if you have them, cool. Leave them in the comments. Leave them in the reviews. DM me, okay? And I want to Lex you up everywhere on social media. I mean, let me know your opinions. And if you can actually help a sister out, well, help a sister out, okay? But don't get it twisted. I don't want your opinions because they're just like your asshole. Probably stinks. Probably don't even spread your booty cheeks in the shower, okay? I don't want it. But if you have it, cool. I know how to flush. Okay, I know how to hit delete. I know how to hit block. And I'm not going to give a damn today, tomorrow, and the day after that, or the day after that. Because I used to love blocking people. I'm the queen of like saying the last thing and then hitting block. And now you can't respond. I get a kick out of that one. So you can try that if you want. I don't care. I'm focused on getting myself better, getting out of this anhedonia. And I hope I taught y'all a new word today. Anhedonia. Look it up. And shout out to my therapist for teaching me that word and telling me that I had it and I was experiencing it. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm actually not enjoying living. It's basically what that is. Not enjoying being alive. I'm just here. And I don't want to just be here. I want to be, living my best life. Doing my best. Shining. Profiling. All the good shit. But anywho, I'm going to get out y'all's hair because I definitely need to do my own. I'm so tired of doing my hair. It's like a weekly thing. It's like a daily thing, actually. Being black is such a gift, right? But baby, I'm tired. Anywho, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. I set a thing of chicken grease out for the trash men to pick up, and they just left it there. And I'm like, well, why would you leave a bottle full of chicken grease? I don't know. Anywho, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. And don't go fucking up nobody's day, because it ain't cute. Okay? It's going to get you fucked up. Okay? FAFO. Bye.